3 fishers rescued on Lake Superior.
Flags lowered in Michigan today. Hi, I'm Amr Mansour.
And I'm John Modick. Welcome to Public Eye News. The Marquette Senior High School Symphony Orchestra is taking a trip to Germany and Austria. To raise funds for the trip, the music group performed at NMU's Reynolds Recital Hall last Sunday. The group takes this trip every other year and raises money in a variety of ways. Mallory Grugan, one of the students going on the trip, said, "We are touring Munich, Vienna, and the Bavarian Alps. As of now, the orchestra has successfully raised almost $8,000 for the trip and is leaving for Amsterdam on April 3rd. 3 anglers were rescued Saturday night in Lake Superior. The trio was fishing in Marquette's Upper Harbor and got into trouble when ice closed in around their boat, making it impossible to move. Luckily, one of the men had a cell phone and was able to contact 911, who dispatched a search and rescue team. The rescue teams then had to chop their way through the ice to reach the stranded fishers. Fortunately, no one was injured.
Arbor Light, an Ann Arbor-based tech company, has been awarded $1.7 million in a venture capital investment. The company will spend the money to bring Marquette LED technology to the city. The company won an award for their Lightwell product, which allows users to emulate natural lighting right from their phones. Arbor Light is a spin-off of the University of Michigan Office of Technology Transfer. The company got its start after an entrepreneur boot camp in 2010. Governor Rick Snyder has ordered flags to be lowered in honor of 3 fallen Michigan Marines. Marcus Bowell of Warren, Trevor Blaylock of Lake Orion, and Andrew Seif of Holland were among several killed in a helicopter crash. The crash occurred during a nighttime training exercise on March 10th. U.S. and Michigan flags at the state capitol and state buildings were all lowered for the remainder of today. Snyder cites the crash as a reminder of the sacrifice our soldiers give every day.
The Lenawee County Sheriff's Office is asking for help in locating a 15-year-old girl. The girl, named Michaela Rose McLaughlin, was last seen around 9:30 a.m. in Palmyra Township and was possibly taken by a man named Jonathan, according to the police statement. Michaela is 5 foot 5 inches tall and weighs about 115 pounds. Her abductor is a white man with dark hair weighing 220 to 230 pounds and stands about 6 foot 2 inches tall. Anyone with information is asked to contact Central County Dispatch at 517-263-0524. The Humane Animal Welfare Society in southeast Wisconsin has had an unusual case on their hands. Over 330 chinchillas have been seized from a home in Waukesha due to what police called uninhabitable conditions. Authorities went on to report high levels of ammonia and animal urine, as well as finding almost 24 dead chinchillas in the house. A battalion chief for the Waukesha Fire Department says the adults living in the house admitted to selling the small rodents and that the conditions inside the house were the worst he'd ever seen. An investigation is ongoing. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Coming up this week on High School Bowl, make sure you join us for the Final Four, the semifinals. In our first match, the Escanaba Eskimos take on the Comeback Kids, the Bessemer Speed Boys. Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and then in the second half of our Final Four, the Hancock Bulldogs go up against the Ironwood Red Devils. That's the Final Four, the semifinals, this week on High School Bowl.
And welcome back. The New York City Mayor's office has identified 1 of 2 bodies from a building collapse on Thursday. 23-year-old Nicholas Figueroa was on a date at the restaurant building when the explosion and fire hit all 3 levels. DNA testing will be done to help identify the second body recovered. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says the explosion may be due to someone improperly tapping into the building's gas line. However, no official cause has been announced. With the deadline looming, Secretary of State John Kerry canceled a scheduled trip to Boston in order to try to wrap up a deal with Iran over its nuclear program. Greg Boswell has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Negotiators are in the final hours of talks intended to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Officials say if they reach a deal, Iran will not be able to manufacture a nuclear weapon for at least 15 years. But stumbling blocks have cropped up. Iran is now backtracking on a stipulation that it send its uranium stockpile to Russia to de-weaponize it for use in a commercial nuclear power plant. And Iran is demanding that it be allowed to further enrich uranium in the final years of a deal, but the U.S. is pushing back. Finally, Iran wants economic sanctions lifted immediately. Sanctions are already a sticking point with Congress. Many lawmakers want more sanctions against Iran.
We should have kept the sanctions in place so that we could have gotten to a real agreement. And the sanctions are going to come, and they're going to come quick.
And there is broad bipartisan support for Tennessee Senator Bob Corker's bill that would allow Congress to approve or reject any nuclear deal with Iran. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the State Department.
Spokesman for the Saudi-led campaign against rebels in Yemen says coalition naval forces have besieged the country's ports. Ahmed Asiri told reporters last Monday that naval forces are blocking the movement of ships to prevent weapons and fighters from entering or leaving Yemen. The Shiite rebels known as Houthis and their allied forces seized control of the capital Sana'a last September. Iran currently supports the rebels, although Houthis has denied that it arms them. We are learning new details about the pilot suspected of intentionally crashing a jetliner carrying 150 people on board. German prosecutors confirmed they found evidence of suicidal issues in co-pilot Andrei Lubowitz's medical history. Chris Van Cleese was at the briefing and has the latest from Dusseldorf, Germany.
This video of a teenage Andreas Lubitz flying a glider stands in contrast to the 27-year-old co-pilot who investigators believe intentionally crashed Germanwings Flight 9525. On Monday, prosecutors said prior to receiving his pilot's license, Lubitz was treated for suicidal thoughts.
His doctors documented him to be unable to work and to fly. But these documents don't show any hint of being suicidal or being aggressive against other people.
Prosecutors here in Germany discounted reports that Lubitz was having vision issues. They say they have not found a suicide note or any evidence of a motive. A German newspaper published what it says is a transcript of the cockpit voice recorder. While going over landing procedures for Dusseldorf, Lubitz says, hopefully, and we'll see. When the captain tries to re-enter the cockpit after taking a bathroom break, he finds the door locked. He bangs on the door, shouting, "For God's sake, open the door." Passengers are heard screaming. Later, an automatic warning goes off. Terrain, pull up. More screams, then nothing. In the French Alps, crews are building a road to the crash site so debris can be removed. And investigators have so far recovered DNA from at least 78 victims. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Dusseldorf, Germany.
Britain and the United States have said there are signs of deliberate political interference in Nigeria's recent presidential election. A statement released by the two nations finds any distorting of the Nigerian people's vote concerning and warns against any undermining in the Electoral Commission. The collation of votes was originally planned for noon today. On Friday, a 4-year-old Philadelphia girl was returned home safely after taking a 3 a.m. bus ride. The purpose of the girl's escape was in search of a midnight snack. A bus driver overheard the girl swinging her legs and chanting, "All I want is a slushie." The driver pulled the bus over and called the cops immediately. The girl was taken to a hospital where she was returned to her mother. And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
What if news wasn't just a commodity,
but a commitment?
The fiscal cliff is a fiscal suicide.
Why shouldn't we explore every side of the story?
The Syrian army had pulled back.
Where can you turn for news you can trust?
How do we make sense of something like this?
On PBS, we believe journalism should never stop asking questions.
Give to your PBS station and support independent journalism.
We answer to no one but you.
Hi, welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Dan Callahan, and this is your weather. As you can see behind me, it's extremely beautiful and sunny. Now with current conditions. Currently it is partly cloudy with a temperature of 34 degrees, winds north by northeast, 9 miles per hour, and barometric pressure 29.9 inches and rising. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 23 degrees and winds south 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow, rain and snow showers with a high of 40 degrees, winds east by southeast, 7 miles per hour. Now, with temperatures around the UP, in Sault Ste. Marie, it's 34 and cloudy. In Manistee, it is 40 degrees and partly cloudy. In Escanaba, it is 47 degrees and partly sunny. And Menominee, it is 49 degrees and sunny. In Iron Mountain, it is 47 degrees and sunny. In Ironwood, it is 47 degrees and partly sunny. Up at Houghton, 36 degrees and sunny. And back in Marquette, 40 degrees and partly cloudy. Looking ahead, on Wednesday, high of 48 degrees with a low of 39 degrees and cloudy. Thursday with a high of 55 degrees, low of 30 and raining. Friday, 33 degrees and a low of 25 degrees and partly cloudy. Well, Will, I heard there's a lot of green in sports lately.
Spartans are doing pretty good in the Final Four.
Go Spartans.
Michigan State University is Final Four bound again after a thrilling 76-70 victory over the Louisville Cardinals. This marks the first time since 2010 that the Spartans will make it to the tournament semifinals. MSU guard Denzel Valentine said, quote, "Everybody doubted us. Everybody had us down and out. We believed in ourselves," end quote. The Spartans are the lowest seed remaining in the field. They may not have a single NBA hopeful and now face their toughest test yet. Tom Izzo said, quote, "It doesn't mean I'm separating a lot of my great guys from anything, but this team probably had the least chance to get there, and so that makes it a little special," end quote. Northern Michigan University's men's golf team is in third place after the first day of action at the AMFAM Spring Invitation at Otter Creek Golf Club Sunday. The Wildcats are tied with Northwood and are attempting to catch the Indianapolis and Grand Valley State teams that sit in first and second. Coach Kyle Wittenbach said, quote, "They are excited at having a real shot at winning the tournament," end quote. 3 teams weren't able to complete their first round due to frost and will make it up on Monday. The Detroit Red Wings lost Sunday to the New York Islanders, who have lost 7 straight home games at home. Detroit fell 5-4 and remained in second place behind the Tampa Bay Lightning in the race for the Atlantic Division. Mike Babcock said the team needs to get its issues solved, saying, quote, "I thought our team was prepared. I thought we worked," end quote. Goalie Peter Mrazek was pulled in the game after allowing 4 goals on only 11 shots on net, the last one only 16 seconds into the second period. The Wings finished March with just 9 points over the last 13 games. So I know about the Detroit Red Wings, but I hear that there's some pink wings in the park.
Yeah, you're right. A man in Oregon sure loves his chickens. People in Portland, Oregon have been seeing pink chickens running around the waterfront park. The pink chickens were dyed by their owner, who used beet juice, Kool-Aid, and food coloring. When asked why he released the pink birds, the owner said he wanted to make people smile. However, he won't be smiling after the bill he was charged and the scolding he received by the county. People in Melbourne, Florida may not play much Angry Birds anymore when a flock of birds started chasing people in Wells Park. Geese, ducks, and seagulls turned into a feathered fiend when officials say the animals are losing their fear of people. Even the city manager was chased by 3 white geese while jogging. Officials now warn against feeding the wildlife. Okay, so 3 geese are chasing after you. Would you be afraid?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, come on, it's geese.
They can really bite you, man.
Oh, do they even have teeth?
I think they do.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for it. Thanks for tuning to Public Eye News. We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.